Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm County Executive Steve Schuh. I am so excited to be here this morning for this great day here in Anne Arundel County as we continue to wage war against gangs in our region. I want to thank all of our public safety professionals for not only being here today, but for what they do every day of the year to keep our families and properties safe. Thank you for your work to make our county the safest place to live, work, and start a business in Maryland. The Maryland Criminal Intelligence Network Initiative is a textbook example of public safety partnership between the state of Maryland and local jurisdictions like Anne Arundel County. MCIN is a program to combat criminal gang enterprises and repeat offenders responsible for terrorizing Maryland citizens and participating in violent crime throughout the state. This initiative further encourages the already strong partnerships to combat gangs that we have been building in this county for more than 3 years. These partnerships are bearing fruit as we have arrested more than 70 of the estimated 150 to 200 MS-13 gang members who have been roaming the streets of our jurisdiction. But we cannot let up the fight, which is why today I am delighted to announce that Anne Arundel County will receive nearly $500,000 from the Hogan administration to assist us in our fight to rid Anne Arundel County of gangs. This state funding will help in our efforts to ensure that every Anne Arundel County citizen feels safe and secure in our streets and in their homes and places of work. Our public safety professionals here with us today will explain the program and how this money will be deployed. As I close, I want to express my gratitude that we have a governor who recognizes the challenges that gangs pose here in Anne Arundel County and across the state of Maryland. Thanks to Governor Hogan, we are now working hand in hand with the state to defeat violent criminals in this county. So without further delay, I'd like to introduce GOCCP Director Glenn Fuston to outline the Maryland Criminal Intelligence Network Initiative. Thank you. Glenn?
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Glenn Fuston. I'm the Executive Director of the Governor's Office of Crime Control and Prevention. I'm delighted to be here today with County Executive Schuh, State's Attorneys Adam, Chief Altamari, and Lieutenant Andre to talk about the Maryland Criminal Intelligence Network. The Maryland Criminal Intelligence Network is a key element in the state strategy to address violent crime and other criminal justice issues in the state. The goal with the Maryland Criminal Intelligence Network is to make sure that we're identifying the true scope and the detailed scope of all criminal organizations that are plaguing our counties and our states. After we've identified those, it's our intent to disrupt and dismantle those organizations so they can no longer wreak havoc across the state. This will be done with intense collaboration and with data sharing, because as we know, counties are not roadblocks for the criminal organizations. And with this organization, with the Maryland Criminal Intelligence Network, we'll be able to allow law enforcement to share data across these county boundaries so it's no longer a blockade for us. The $500,000 that we have allotted to Anne Arundel County will help them bolster their system while allowing them to connect to other counties around the state and actually outside the region. This will reduce the violent crime that is committed by these networks, these criminal networks, and allow us to have a safer Anne Arundel County and a safer Maryland. So I commend Anne Arundel County for the work that they're doing. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming out. If you've been around Anne Arundel County for a while, you've heard us in the past few years talk about some of the challenges involved in fighting criminal organizations, right? So a criminal organization can be anything from a neighborhood crew that's preying upon a community and making it unsafe, up to transnational gangs like MS-13, organized crime organizations from Europe, Asia. So what we're trying to do in Maryland is get better at working together to fight that problem. And as we fight that problem and we start to work closer together, we got to remember that the lines on a map only matter to cops and politicians. So the MSIN program is a great way for us with help from the governor's office and Mr. Fuston from GOCCP, the Governor's Office of Crime Control and Prevention, to get better, stronger in the fight and to fight the people who profit, the head of the snake that profits from creating and maintaining criminal organizations that either push poison out into the community or prey upon innocents. EMSN is going to be yet another example, yet another step for us to take to get better and stronger at doing that. It's going to kind of be bifurcated for us. There's a word in the title of EMSN, Maryland Criminal Intelligence Network, intelligence. So we're going to get better and stronger at using the existing intelligence out there and sharing it across jurisdictional lines so that we're better in the region, so that that line on a map doesn't stop us from going after the bad guys. And the other part of what we're going to be trying to do is really day-to-day using our investigators, our analysts, and our cops on the street is to go after the head of the snake. If we have a high-level player, that's who we want to go after using this program. With the addition of about $550,000, $300,000 of which is new investment in Anne Arundel County, we're really going to kick in the afterburners. We're going to go after the bad guys, and we're going to go after the big fish bad guys to make Anne Arundel County an unhealthy place to be a gang leader. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm Anne Arundel County State's Attorney Wes Adams. As many of you know, we have worked closely with our partners, all of whom are with me today, to share intelligence. It's the basis of what we are doing as a prosecuting agency, and it is really 21st century law enforcement cooperation that has been leading to the effective arrests that we have been making and effective prosecutions. These partnerships have allowed us to become a leader in law enforcement. The advancements we've seen under these programs, such as Safe Streets, have improved both investigations and prosecutions of the few criminals, as you just heard Chief say, which are driving crime throughout our county and the state. We're excited to build on these principles with the Maryland Criminal Intelligence Network Initiative. We have been working, sharing information with Chief, the police department here, and we have been building this network over the past 3 years with the help of GOCCP, with the support of County Executive Schuh, so that we could be in the best position to identify the major offenders and the gang leaders and the group leaders that are driving crime in the county. We're excited to build on these principles, and we look forward to implementing them or continuing our implementation of them over the next few years so that we can have the broadest impact, not just on our county, but in the associated counties around us in the region. As you have heard, crime doesn't stop at any sort of jurisdictional border. We're grateful for the support of Governor Hogan, grateful for the support of County Executive Schuh, and really for Glenn Fuston, who's been a leader in helping build this network. As I sit on the Governor's Council of Gangs and Violent Criminal Networks, I have met with Mr. Fuston over the past, monthly at least, over the past 10 months to make sure that Anne Arundel County's part in this as a beta site or as a beginning site has had a firm foundation in this criminal intelligence network. So I appreciate the support, and I look forward to serving the county and keeping us continuously safe. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming out. That's going to conclude our announcement today. If you have any questions on spelling or follow-ups, Mr. Lemansky and I will hang around for a little bit and answer those. Thank you guys so much. Do you want to answer questions? I feel like, okay. They said they'd answer questions for you. That's it.
I have one for the chief. I know it's early on, and it might be tough to lay out your whole budget right now, but what are you thinking about the use of this money for, to help with hardware, physical hardware, or to help throw in for a lot of overtime to do this, or how's this going to be distributed?
Short answer is yes. So you mentioned hardware. I think we're particularly looking at some software options. We're working with Wes's folks down the State's Attorney's Office right now to figure out how best to get a platform, software platform that we're looking at up and running, and how to make that more regional. If you think about it, what we're trying to do is make it so that if a gang investigator in Harford County comes across a player that they think is involved, that not only can they look and see, has this lady or gentleman been identified as a gang member elsewhere, but what they've been up to, and then down to what detective can they call to really start sharing information to make us more effective regionally. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, I think that you'll see us use some of the money. You mentioned overtime. I think what we're really going to focus on with the gang task force is our gang investigations are really growing legs. So you'll see us more freely go to New York or North Carolina or Texas to put boots on the ground, us and investigators from those agencies to turn the heat up so that when somebody leaves Anne Arundel County because we've turned the heat up here, my apologies to whoever's equipment that was. I may have broken it. So that we keep the heat up and they still see, the bad guys still see us show up in other regions in the country to let them know that you leaving here doesn't mean we're turning the heat off, we're coming after you. Did I answer your question okay?
Clarify you had said 300,000 and 550,000. Can you clarify exactly what you meant?
So I think we're at a total of $550,000 from the Governor's Office of Crime Control and Prevention for the year. That is a split total between the three agencies personified up here with the Sheriff's Office, the State's Attorney's Office, and the Police Department. The technical aspects that I talked about with information and intelligence sharing went to Wes's shop, and that is an additional, I think, about $300,000. And then for the Police Department, I know that we got about a $60,000 bump to make us more effective in that movement that we were talking about and being able to, on a dime, get up and go elsewhere to keep the investigation going. Did I answer your question okay? And then the Sheriff's Office has a smaller amount, but a significant amount for their size so that they can stay involved in the fight with us as well. Did I answer your question okay, Phil?
And for the intelligence sharing part, that would be, I guess, more so for Mr. Adams. You guys launched Sting last year. You guys talked a lot about actionable intelligence during that, our talk with you guys. Does this at all integrate with the intelligence that you got through that unit, and then does that then become more regional as a result?
It's the outgrowth of exactly what we explained to you about 10 or 12 months ago, which was what the initial investment from the Governor's Office was into Anne Arundel County so that we could build that intelligence capability, build a software foundation and the technological foundation that you heard Chief reference so that we can connect all of our platforms of intelligence, one, first primarily to work inside of Anne Arundel County and then to extend that over the course of the regional area. That is why, in particular, I'm sitting on that Governor's Council, and that Anne Arundel County is really a foundational site for that MSIN network, because that's really what we've built for been building for the last year.
Let me just mention briefly, they've come up a couple times in this discussion, the important role of the Sheriff's Office in combating gangs. The responsibility of the Sheriff's Office in Anne Arundel County is to apprehend criminals in the community who are subject to outstanding warrants and have not yet been brought to justice. It's the sheriff's deputies who go out and find those people. And that office has done a tremendous job under Sheriff Bateman of prioritizing heroin-related and gang-related warrants. But the hard part is finding these people. They hide, they elude the law. And this grant is going to help Lieutenant Brian Andre of the Sheriff's Office and his team to find these individuals and bring them to justice. So we are very grateful across all agencies and office of public safety for the help that this GOCCP grant is going to give to us. So I want to thank Mr. Houston once again.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys again. I know it's an early Monday morning and rainy, so we appreciate you coming out. Thank you so much.
Be safe. Thanks.